Okay, so for today, we're going to discuss about mobile development, security, and privacy. Mobile development, security, and privacy had become critical concerns in today's digital world as smartphone and mobile applications dominate everyday activities. So from financial transaction and social networking to healthcare and education, mobile devices handle vast amount of sensitive data. So this widespread use exposes user and organizations to various security threats and privacy risk, no, making it essential for developers to integrate strong protection measures in every stage of app development. Mobile application, of course, face several common threats as a malware, data leakage, no, insecure communication, and unauthorized access. Malware can compromise users' data or control device functions without consent. No? Data leakage often occurs through insecure storage and transmission sensitive information. Additionally, no, improper authentication or weak encryption may allow attackers to bypass security controls, putting users' privacy at significant risk. No? So secure coding practices are foundation of mobile app security because developers must adhere to security guidelines such as input validation, proper error handling, and minimizing data storage. So using secure application, programming interfaces, and avoiding hard-coded credentials are vital to preventing vulnerabilities. And regular code reviews and security testing like penetration testing can help identify and resolve security flaws early in the development cycle. So therefore, protecting user data is a primarily concern no, in mobile development. Sensitive information such as personal details, passwords, and financial data should be encrypted both at rest and in transit. Secure socket layers or transport layer transport layer security protocols should be used for data transmission. Proper key management practices must also be implemented to prevent unauthorized access to encryption keys. And to give us more details about the topic, let us all welcome our presenter. Go ahead.
Good evening, Sir Marmelo, and good evening, classmates. So, tonight I will be reporting on Module 7 with the topic Android Security and Privacy. Permissions and Security Best Practices. Android is one of the most widely used mobile operating systems, making security and privacy critical concerns. To ensure a secure user experience, Android provides a comprehensive permissions model and various security best practices that developers should follow. Android uses a permission-based security model that ensures apps request explicit access to system resources. By following Android security and permissions best practices, developers can create secure and privacy-conscious applications. Implementing these measures enhances users' trust and helps prevent security vulnerabilities, ensuring a safer mobile experience for everyone. Type of permissions. One is normal permissions. These are granted automatically by the system as they pose minimal risk to the user's privacy. Example, internet access. Dangerous permissions. These require explicit user approval because they involve sensitive data, including location, contacts, camera, and microphone. Special permissions. These include high-risk privileges such as system underscore alert underscore window and write underscore settings, which require additional approval processes. Signature permissions. These are granted only to apps signed with the same certificate as the requesting app. Best practices for handling permissions. Request minimal permissions. Always request only the permissions that are essential for the app's functionality. Use runtime permissions. For dangerous permissions, request them at runtime rather than at install time. Provide justification before requesting permissions and explain why they are necessary to the user. handle denied permissions gracefully, provide alternative functionality or a clear message when permissions are denied, revoke unused permissions, regularly review and remove unnecessary permissions from the app's manifest, leverage scope storage. Instead of requesting full storage access, use Media Store and Storage Access Framework to limit file access. So, Android security best practices. Secure data storage. Use encrypted shared preferences for storing sensitive data. Utilize the Android Key Store for cryptographic operations. Avoid storing credentials in plain text. Secure network communication. Always use HTTPS, TLS/SSL for data transmission. Implement secure certificate pinning to prevent man-in-the-middle attacks. Use network security config to define security settings. Secure app components. Use exported equals false for sensitive activities, services, and receivers to prevent unauthorized access. Apply intent filters carefully to avoid exposing components unintentionally. User authentication and authorization. Implement biometric authentication for enhanced security. Use OAuth2/OpenID Connect instead of storing user passwords. Prevent code injection and tampering. Obfuscate code using ProGuard or R8. Verify app integrity using Google Play app signing. Use SafetyNet Attestation API to detect rooted devices and modified apps. Handle background services securely. Use foreground services with proper notifications to prevent silent execution. Implement Job Scheduler or Work Manager instead of background services when possible. Privacy data best practices. Limit data collection. Only collect data that is absolutely necessary for app functionality. Ensure transparent data usage. Clearly state in your privacy policy how user data is collected, used, and shared. Provide opt-out mechanisms. Allow users to control what data they share and provide options to opt out. Anonymize and encrypt user data. Remove personally identifiable information (PII) and encrypt sensitive data before storing or transmitting it. Follow GDPR and CCPA compliance. Ensure compliance with global privacy laws to protect user data. Data encryption and secure storage in Android. With increasing concerns over data security, Android provides multiple mechanisms to ensure security storage and encryption of sensitive data. This document outlines best practices for encrypting data and securely storing information in Android applications. Encryption is essential to prevent unauthorized access to sensitive data, even if the data is lost, stolen, or compromised. Android provides various encryption methods to protect stored data and network communications. So, by implementing secure storage and encryption techniques, Android developers can protect sensitive data from unauthorized access and potential breaches. Utilizing Android's built-in security features such as the key store, encrypted share preferences, and AES encryption ensures a robust security posture in modern applications. Adopting these best practices enhances users' trust and safeguards criminal information against threats. Securing data storage methods. Android offers different ways to securely store sensitive data. The Android Key Store system provides a secure container for cryptographic keys, ensuring that private keys never leave the secure hardware. It also supports key attestations and hardware-backed security, making it an essential tool for protecting sensitive information. Another secure storage method is encrypted shared preferences, which securely stores key value pairs. This approach prevents exposure of sensitive user settings or authentication tokens. For securing local files, developers should use the Encrypted File API, which ensures that sensitive documents or media remain protected from unauthorized access. For applications using SQLite databases, SQL Cipher is a powerful tool that encrypts database content, preventing unauthorized access to structured data. In addition, Android enforces scope storage, which restricts app access to files outside their dedicated directories. The Media Store API further ensures that media files are only accessible under specific permissions, protecting user privacy. Android encryption and mechanism. Android provides several decryption techniques to protect user data. Full disk encryption or FDE encrypts all user data at the file system level and requires device reboot and authentication to decrypt the data. A more advanced approach, file-based encryption (FBE), encrypts individual files rather than the entire disk, allowing different files to be unlocked independently based on user authentication. So for secure data handling, developers should use AES-256-GCM encryption, which provides strong encryption while ensuring data integrity. Additionally, key management best practices recommend never storing encryption keys in app storage. Instead, the key store API should be used to generate and store cryptographic keys securely. To enhance security further, key rotation should be implemented periodically to minimize risk in case of a compromise. So, secure network communication. Securing network communication is critical to protect data in transit. Developers should always use HTTPS and TLS or Transport Layer Security 1.2 or later to ensure encrypted communication and prevent data interception. Certificate pinning is another security measure that helps mitigate man-in-the-middle attacks by ensuring that the app only connects to trusted servers. For applications that require message security, end-to-end encryption (E2EE) should be implemented. This means encrypting messages before transmission so that only the recipient can decrypt them. Libraries like the Signal Protocol provide a strong foundation for secure managing messaging apps by ensuring message confidentiality and integrity. So the next step is best practices for secure data storage. To enhance data security, developers should follow key best practices. First, they should adhere to the principles of least privilege (POLP) by only storing and accessing the minimum necessary data. Additionally, sensitive data should always be encrypted before storage to prevent unauthorized access. Using secure APIs such as encrypted file, encrypted shared preferences, and the Keystore API is essential for handling sensitive data securely. Developers should also avoid storing sensitive data locally, such as passwords, tokens, or personally identifiable information (PII). Instead, cloud storage with proper encryption can be used for long-term storage. Another important practice is to regularly rotate encryption keys, which minimizes the risk of exposure if a key is compromised. Additionally, secure backup strategies should be implemented, ensuring that all backups are encrypted and protected against unauthorized access. Next topic is understanding GDPR and data privacy laws. In an era of increasing corners over data privacy, compliance with regulations such as the General Data Protection or GDPR and other global data privacy laws is essential for Android application developers. Ensuring compliance helps protect user data, builds trust, and avoid legal penalties. GDPR is a European Union regulation that governs the processing of personal data for EU citizens. It applies to any organization that collects or processes data from EU users, regardless of its location. So, what are the key principles of GDPR? Lawfulness, fairness, and transparency. Data must be processed legally, fairly, and in a transparent manner. Purpose limitation. Data should only be collected for specified legitimate purposes. Data minimization. Only necessary data should be collected and stored. Accuracy. Personal data must be accurate and kept up to date. Storage limitation. Data should not be kept longer than necessary. Integrity and confidentiality. Data must be securely processed to ensure protection against unauthorized access or breaches. So, what are the best practices for GDPR and data privacy compliance? One is to obtain explicit user consent. Before collecting any personal data, applications should request clear, informed, and voluntary consent from users. This means representing an easy to understand explanation of what data will be collected and for what purpose. Users should also be able to opt in and out at any time without difficulty. 2. Implement data minimization. Only gather the data that is absolutely necessary for the app's core functionality. Avoid excessive data collection and ensure that all stored information has a specific purpose. 3. Provide transparent privacy policies. Users have the right to know how their data is being handled. Clear and concise privacy policies should outline what types of data are collected, why the data is being collected, whether any third parties have access to user data, and what rights users have over their data and how can they exercise them. 4. Enable user rights management. GDPR grants users several rights concerning their data, including the right to access their personal data, the right to request deletion of their data, the right to correct inaccurate data, and the right to opt out of data collection and processing. Secure data storage and processing. To ensure the security of user data, developers should encrypt all sensitive personal data using AES encryption before storing it. Securely store cryptographic keys using the Android Key Store. Utilize scope storage to limit app access to sensitive user files. 6. Implement data retention policies. Define clear data retention policies to ensure that personal information is not stored longer than necessary. Implement automated mechanisms to delete outdated or unnecessary data, reducing the risk of accidental exposure. Number 7. Ensure secure data transfers. Whenever user data is transmitted over the internet, should be protected using TLS or transport layer security to prevent unauthorized access. Additional security measures like certificate pinning can help prevent man-in-the-middle attacks. Conduct regular security audits and compliance checks. Maintaining GDPR compliance requires ongoing security assessments, regular penetration testing, code reviews, and vulnerability scans can help identify weaknesses before they become security threats. Number 9. Implement data breach notification procedures. In the unfortunate event of a data breach, GDPR mandates that affected users and relevant authorities must it be informed within 72 hours. So with that report, sir, Thank you, and thank you, classmates, for listening to my presentation. Good night.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. No, will you share the first slide? No, okay. Again, as our presenter mentioned, no, privacy by design principle, no. Mobile app developers should adapt the privacy by design principle which integrate privacy considerations into every phase of development. No? This include collecting only necessary data, obtaining informed user consent, no? And providing transparency about the data usage. So user should have no a control over their data through features like privacy setting and the ability to delete personal information when desired. No? Both Android and iOS platform provide built-in security features that developers must leverage. No? And this includes sandboxing, no? If you're familiar, no? Application permission, biometric authentication, and secure storage APIs. No? Developers should follow no? Follow platform-specific guidelines and regularly update applications to patch security vulnerabilities identified by the platform vendors. No? Wait. Okay. Then compliance with privacy and data protection law is important for mobile applications. Regulations such as the General Data Protection Regulations, no, or GDPR, the Data Privacy Act of 2012, the Cybersecurity Act, and the California Consumer Privacy Act no, mandate strict rules on data collection, storage, and sharing because non-compliance can result in severe penalties and reputational damage. So developers must ensure that their applications meet all legal requirements applicable to their market or target market. So mobile security does not end at the deployment. The developers and organization must continuously monitor applications for new threats and vulnerabilities. So regular updates, security patches, and incident response plans are essential. So equally important is educating users on best practices such as enabling device security settings, no, encourage phishing no attempts, and update apps regularly to reduce the risk of security breaches and privacy violation. One example actually is the mobile banking application security and privacy. No, uh, imagine no, you are developing mobile banking app for a financial institution. This app will allow users to view their balance, no, transfer money, pay bills, and manage their accounts. Now, since the app will handle sensitive financial data, so applying strong security and privacy measures is critical. No? First, during development, you as developer implement secure coding practices by validating all users' inputs, no? Avoiding hard-coded credentials and making sure APIs are properly authenticated. For instance, you prevent SQL injection by sanitizing inputs and limiting database queries to only necessary information. No? Second, you use encryption for both stored data and data in transit. No? All user passwords are hashed no using secure application katulad po ng Bcrypt no BCrypt no and data transmitted between the more app or between the mobile app and the bank servers is protected by the transport layer security. And this ensures that even if the data is interpreted during transmission, it remains unreadable to attackers. No? Third, you may apply the privacy by design, as I mentioned earlier, and as a presenter discussed. No? This approach, limiting the information collected. So the app only requested essential permissions such as access to the camera for check deposit and location for nearby ATM locators. You also provide a simple and clear privacy policy explaining how user data will be collected, stored, no, and used, ensuring transparency. Fourth, you may integrate biometric authentication, no, fingerprint or face recognition, possibly provided by iOS and Android to enhance user login security. This adds an extra layer no, of protection beyond just password reducing the chances of unauthorized access even if the devices is lost or stolen. Fifth, you ensure that app is compliant with the financial regulations like GDPR, the Philippine Data Privacy Act, and this means user can easily access, update, or delete their personal information. And you have implemented consent form before collecting sensitive data. And lastly, you set up continuous monitoring. So if any unusual activity occurs, no, like multiple failed login attempts or transaction from an authorized device, the app will trigger alerts and then temporarily blocks the account. No, you also educate users via app notifications about best security practices such as avoiding phishing links and regularly updating the app. No? Another, of course, is the healthcare mobile app security and privacy. You as developer may you are developing a mobile healthcare app, no, that allows patient to book appointment, no, access medical records and consult with doctors online. Since it will handle highly sensitive personal and health data, security and privacy are top priorities. No, you begin by applying end-to-end encryption for all communication between patient and doctors, including chat, video calls, and medical records transfer, as what we encountered in our Facebook Messenger. Na this ensure that only the intended parties can read or view the information, protecting patient confidentiality. For authentication, you implement multi-factor authentication requiring both password and the one-time PIN na sent via SMS, no, or email, and this prevent unauthorized access even if a user's password is compromised. No, the app only requires minimal permission like access to the camera for teleconsultation and file storage for medical reports. Uh, you make sure that access is always consented to and can be revoked anytime through app settings. Since you are handling medical data, you also follow healthcare specific regulations such as HIPAA, no, if applicable internationally, or the Philippines Data Privacy Act, and you can include a clear privacy notice explaining how health data is collected, is stored, shaped, no, or shared, no, and protected. Another example, of course, is the e-commerce mobile app security and privacy. Suppose you are building an e-commerce mobile app where users can browse products, make purchases, and save payment methods. Security here is vital due to online payments and personal information handling. You implement secure payment gateways, katulad ng PayPal, Stripe, no, to ensure that credit card information is not stored directly in the app. And this help reduce the app's exposure to sensitive financial data and leverage the security certification of established payment providers. So to prevent account takeovers, you integrate account lockout mechanism after repeated failed login attempts and offer passwordless logins option like social login, Google, Apple ID with secure token handling. You also design the app with role-based access control for administrator and staff managing the platform. And this ensure that only authorized personnel have access to sensitive parts of the back end, no, such as payment processing or user information. And finally, you can conduct vulnerability assessment and penetration test to find and fix potential weaknesses. Users are also educated through app notification about safe online shopping practices, including tips against phishing and fake promotions. Another example, of course, is the social media app security and privacy. Imagine, no, you are creating a social media app where user can share photos, chat, and build communities. So privacy expectations are high because users share personal moments. No, you allow user to customize their privacy setting, giving them control over who can view their posts, send them messages, or tag them. You also enable to report, no, uh, you also enable users to report or block abusive accounts easily, no? Because all private messages are secured using end-to-end encryption to prevent interception. Additionally, you use content moderation powered by AI, and human reviewers to detect harmful or inappropriate content, ensuring a safe online environment. You also apply data minimization principles, no? Which collecting or only necessary data such as username, email, and optional profile details, because data analytics are anonymized and you avoid selling personal information to third parties. And finally, the app complies with GDPR, data privacy, and other privacy laws by allowing user to request data deletion, download their data, and be informed about any data breach through proper incident response protocol. No? Uh, Actually, I have an example of a code, no, for security, no, code, the security code and privacy for Android and ano, but wait for a while. Open ko lang po siya. I will show you an example of a code. Wait for a while. Wait for a while. Wala makita. Okay, since our topic is about privacy, no? This will be an example of a code for Android using Kotlin, no? And using encrypted shared preferences. So this will be the common ano, no? Then the PAN, store secure data, and so on and so forth. So I will give you this code later, no? I use this one in my codes, no? Especially if I'm deciding if a mobile app, no? Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, this will be a sample code for Android Kotlin using encrypted shared preferences, as you can see here, no? So yan. Then another one, of course, is the sample code for iOS o Swift naman kasi kapag iOS, no? Using keychain to store sensitive data, no? So to import security, as you can see here, no? And so on. Okay, we will class generic password, no? This will be a function actually load from keychain, as you can see, setting string account, no? And so on, no? Okay. Then we have Android sample biometric authentication because again, pwede kasing biometric not just only password, no? Ito yung ating mga tinatawag na libraries, no? Then yung class name natin, yung code natin na override, no? And other biometric manager ang ginagamit nilang pinaka keyword, no, for this code, no? And so on and so forth. Another is the iOS sample for biometric naman. Kanina kasi is Android, this one is for biometric using in iOS, no? So, ito naman, kung Face ID siya or kaya Touch ID, ito po ang ginagamit nating code. Ano po? So, using if-else statement, no? And, okay. Then afterwards, we have Android sample secure login screen naman po. Ito another code po naman for Android, no? Sa secure login screen naman po. Ito po ay iOS secure login validation, no? Ito po for Android, ito naman po for iOS. Ano? Then Android encrypted local database. So it's important, no, to know how to link our database, no, in specifically when it comes to encrypted local database using SQL Cipher, no? So ito po kapag Android yung code, so nandiyan yung ano natin, database. As you can see, SQLite ang gamit natin. Ano po? No, SQLite. Ito naman for Kotlin, ano po ang ginagamit natin. Then for iOS, na-encrypt the local database ng MDB, no, plus SQL Cipher din po siya, no. Ayun bang yun naman po ang code na ginagamit natin, ano. Ayan, so dito is close. Then SSL pinning concept, mahalaga din po ito, no, for certificate pinner and that builder, no, and so on. So we have client.newCall as our functions. Then SSL pinning naman with URL session delegate. Kanina po, ito po ay para sa ating iOS, no? Okay, this one naman po para sa iOS ulit for SSL pinning with URL session delegate, no? Then, syempre, tax resume, and so on. So, I will give you this code actually, no, later on. And meron pa ako isang file dito ng kung paano nagli-link, no, yung multiple, no. So, isa-save ko to, ilagay sa ating Google Drive, sa ating, ano, file, no. But, again, as I mentioned earlier, no, as what we discussed, no, the sample code actually that we presented, no, especially the first code, no, this example securely stores and retrieve sensitive data using Android X security library because data will be encrypted automatically using EAS-256 encryption, which is suitable for strong API tokens, no, session info or user secrets, no. Yung sa Android naman, 'di ba right after nagpakita tayo ng Android, no, ng iOS, no. For the iOS code, no, specifically this code securely stores and retrieves data using iOS keychain, no, and ideal for token, password, or other sensitive information. And the keychain is encrypted by iOS and only accessible by the app itself, no. So we need to accept the fact that both platforms should always make HTTPS network request, no. Kung makikita natin pag inopen natin yung website, di ba, may HTTP, may HTTPS. Pag sinabing HTTPS, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, secure. No, pag walang S, hindi siya secure, ibig sabihin. Okay, HTTPS network requires using libraries that verifies SSL certificates. No? On Android, kanina, ginamit natin dun yung OKHTTP client. Tapos iOS naman, URL session ang ginagamit natin with ATS, no, or App Transport Security by default. Sa Android naman, using OKHTTP client with certificate pinning naman po. So if you want, we could able to also, a while ago we show also the secure login screen code for Kotlin Plus Swift, biometrics authentication sample, Face ID and fingerprint, and encrypted local database sample using SQL Cipher for both platforms, no? And lastly, no, we also show an encrypted local database, no. Both Android and iOS can use SQL Cipher, open source to encrypt SQLite databases, no. So kanina gumamit tayo ng for Android, ginamit natin SQL Cipher library instead of default RoomDB, no. Sa iOS naman ginamit natin FMDB plus SQL Cipher. So, Android encrypted database example katulad ng SQL Cipher, iOS encrypted database sample with FMDB plus SQL Cipher, and we have secure API call sample for both Android and iOS using SSL pinning. No? So, we need to understand, we show also the encrypted local database using Android with SQL Cipher, encrypted local database using iOS with FMDB plus SQL Cipher, and we display sample SQL. We also give you an example of a secure API call, no, Android plus iOS using SSL pinning concept. No po? So, and lastly, no, I will show you the SSL pinning with URL session delegates. No? So we need to take note that SQL Cipher adds AES-256 encryption to local SQLite databases. SSL pinning helps protect against man-in-the-middle attacks, no? And always keep certificates or public key hashes updated in production. And we can combine biometrics, no, keychain, encrypted shared preferences, encrypted DB, and SSL pinning for maximum protection. Na? Okay, so I will share you later an example of a full Android plus iOS secure login template later, no, using UI plus backend plus encryption. I will give you also an example of a simple but complete mobile security mini project na working code and some additional input later. No, I will post it to our FB Messenger. Okay, so I think that's it. Thank you so much to our presenter. Okay, may I request everyone